Hello, and welcome to my multimodal defense. My name is Denisha Smith, and I am a student in the Master of Arts in Professional Communication program at Clemson University. Up until 2010, I was leading a pretty normal, foundational life. Then I joined the MAPC program and realized that my world was socially constructed. I haven't been the same ever since. The works you will view in this electronic portfolio reflect projects completed between 2010 and 2012. I will be evaluated on 6 areas of competency: empirical research, visual communication, rhetorical theory, media production literacies, workplace communication, and writing and editing. The structure of this defense includes an overview of the projects or research that best demonstrate competency in each area, the identification of the rhetorical situation, and an overall discussion of the process and challenges. Let's get started. Empirical research. This was the capstone effort of my electronic portfolio, a publishable paper titled Older Adult Conversations, Revisiting Web Design Heuristics for an Emerging Demographic. The exigency of the rhetorical situation asked if senior-friendly website design principles still meet the needs of older adult internet users. The audience includes web designers and information architects. The constraints are an overall assumption that older adults are not likely to visit websites or engage with online communities. While age is a factor in an individual's user experience, older adults are the fastest growing group of internet users. Older adults also represent the fastest growing demographic worldwide. Senior-friendly principles have guided website design for the past 20 years, but we must continue to evaluate the usability needs of this salient audience. There were 14 research study participants that included persons aged 60 and older who were novice internet users, meaning they used the internet 5 hours or less per week. Participants were from 2 senior-focused community centers in Greenville, South Carolina, and they were not made aware of senior-friendly website design principles as part of this research study. The following key principles from the National Institute on Aging guided this study. They include breaking information into short sections, minimizing jargon and technical terms, using a 12 to 14 point type and making it easy to enlarge, minimizing scrolling, and using simplified search engines so that a knowledge of Boolean terms would not be needed. Participants viewed 3 Department of Motor Vehicle websites and were given a scenario that made renewing their driver's license online the best possible option. The 3 websites used were South Carolina, Washington State, and California's senior driver site. These sites were selected based on a range of adherence to senior-friendly website design principles. Following each website viewing, participants completed a 17-question review that included a research study-specific Likert scale, a set of open-ended questions, and a second Likert scale, the industry-regarded System Usability Scale, or SUSE. Let's take a look at the websites. South Carolina's DMV website had a 9% adherence to senior-friendly website design principles. Washington State's DMV website had a 64% adherence, and California's senior driver site, which was created specifically for older adult drivers, had an 81% adherence to senior-friendly website design principles. As a result, my hypothesis was that California's senior driver website would be most preferred among older adult novice internet users for its simple, senior-friendly design. However, I was wrong. Washington State's website was, by far, most preferred. California's came in second place, and South Carolina's ranked last. My data was triangulated through coding and the results of the website review Likert scale, the open-ended questions, and the Seuss scale. The results of this research study indicate that user experience needs of older adults could be changing. They preferred the more attractive website design, which indicates that more emotional design elements could be needed with senior-friendly website design principles. Also, study participants emphasized that websites should be logical and jargon-free. This is especially important because older adults tend to lay heavy blame on themselves when their online user experience is unsuccessful. Visual communication. The rhetorical goal of this assignment was to design 2 wine bottle labels for the client Brittany Jane of Victoria Valley Vineyards in Cleveland, South Carolina. The wine labels needed to reflect the emerging brand of this local family-run business, and it needed to be created using Adobe Photoshop. I designed labels for their Table Rock Rosé brand. In this rhetorical situation, the exigency was to redesign the wine bottle labels to better communicate the brand. Our client was our audience, and for my constraints, I don't drink wine and I was unfamiliar with wine culture. Also, I had very little experience using Photoshop. Victoria Valley Vineyards does not promote itself as a point of sale for their wine products. They aim to create an experience that fosters an emotional attachment to their location and brand. Their welcome center was inviting, like a living room, with rich wood tones, a large seating area and bar to sample wines, and even an American boxer named Lola who walked about interacting with visitors. I wanted to capture this atmosphere in the wine label design. These were the initial labels submitted to the client. Not only are they vastly different, their colors of deep browns and burgundy reds fail to identify with the Rosé brand. What I realized in this process is that I confused the map with the territory. What I perceived to be the reality of the brand, the atmosphere, was only an element of the rhetorical goals of the product. Or, as C. Woodbury would assert, my visual field created a visual world that was an interpretation of reality, but not reality itself. I used the feedback I received to create 2 new wine labels that better communicate the color of the rosé wine paired with the landscape of this unique South Carolina vineyard. I learned that rosés are most often consumed by women and enjoyed with a light meal or appetizer in social settings. I aim to capture these elements in the design of the second labels. Rhetorical theory and media production literacy. These competencies are communicated with a 14-minute video titled In Defense of Rhetoric, No Longer Just for Liars. This was a collaborative, client-based effort in a video production class. I also provided voiceover and narration for the entire video. Creating a video to promote the importance of an education in rhetorical theory was the exigency. The audience included students, faculty, administrators, and parents who could be influenced to seek out a rhetorical education after watching the video. There were constraints of time and the negative reputation rhetoric acquired over time. We define rhetoric as an ability to see the available means of persuasion, Aristotle's definition. In academia, the study of rhetoric was in conflict with other disciplines, such as science and philosophy, which were deemed more meaningful pursuits. We interviewed Clemson faculty and students, as well as other noted scholars in the field who were on campus for a conference event. This was a happy coincidence because these visiting scholars became aware of our work. They would be more likely to share our video with their students and colleagues. Additionally, I learned media production literacies, including lighting techniques, storyboarding, script writing, video editing, and video production. We used Adobe Premiere to create this video. The end result was a 14-minute YouTube video that has received nearly 13,000 views to date. And last but not least, workplace communication. For this competency, I performed a cultural analysis of a nonprofit organization and created an academic poster to display findings. This was a two-person effort, and we were looking for instances of habitus and cultural and social capital that communicate value in the workplace environment. We instituted a project management model similar to the HACO's publications development lifecycle. We started with planning and information gathering, and then implemented site visits and eventually settled in for an analysis phase before creating the poster. The all-female-led organization we studied was very interesting in that their cultural capital was of battles and transition. They were tied to the needs of the community, but they learned to adapt to the bureaucratic changes and to stand up for themselves in the face of sister organizations that had more resources and respect. The result was an academic poster that communicated the dynamic stories, successes, and struggles of this organization, all of which they embraced. Just as they celebrated their culture, we sought to create a poster that had a bright, structured, appealing, and somewhat disheveled quality that closely mirrored the organization itself. These projects and a more detailed analysis are included in the electronic portfolio that I created in Adobe Dreamweaver to demonstrate my work. This portfolio can be viewed at people.clemson.edu/tilde/DENESS/RCID805. At the time of this defense, I am a web content coordinator and social media manager for a public university. I am currently working on a set of promotional videos to promote a fundraising campaign, and I often meet with on-campus clients to discuss the rhetorical goals and usability needs for their websites. My time in the MAPC program has impacted me and has made me an effective, competent, and confident professional communicator. This concludes my defense. Thank you for viewing, and special thanks to my MAPC committee, Dr. Theron Howard, who was my chair, Dr. Susan Hilligoss, and Dr. Martin Jacoby. I welcome further discussion about my work, the benefits of an education in rhetorical theory, or about the Master of Arts in Professional Communication program. You can reach me at emaildenisha@gmail.com.